Okay, sorry about that. Here's the second video because I got interrupted. Someone was at my door. So on number 5, we're looking at for the domain and the range. So remember, domain is how far it stretches from the left to the right. So you can see left, it's at -2 all the way to 16 on the right. So we're going to put 16 and then -2 over here. So x is greater than or equal to -2 and less than or equal to 16. The range is the y values from the bottom. So on the y-axis, it looks like +2 and then up to +10. So remember, you're going to put y in the middle, and it's greater than or equal to 2, less than or equal to 10. And we're also going to identify, is this a function or not? Well, this is not a function because it does not pass the vertical line test. So you can tell that when x is 2, it has 2 different output values on the y-axis. Okay, number 6. Notice this one has an open point right here. So that's going to affect our inequality sign when we get to the domain and the range. So from left to right, it looks like it goes from -4 to +5. But notice that it has an open circle on 5. So instead of being less than or equal to 5, it's just less than 5. And then it's a closed circle on -4, so it's greater than or equal to -4. The range would be, the bottom is greater than -2, so -2, less than y, and then less than or equal to, on the y-axis, up to 3. And then this is, yes, this would be a function because it does pass the vertical line test. Number 7, again, notice this has 2 arrows. It's a line that continues indefinitely in both directions. So the domain would be all real numbers, and so would the range. And this definitely passes the vertical line test, so this would also be a function. Okay, number 8. The domain, if you notice, from left to right, it continues indefinitely in both directions. So the domain would be all real numbers, or I could do the symbol for all real numbers. And then the range from bottom, well, there is no bottom because it continues downward in both directions. So there's no end on the bottom, but there is a top. The greatest that function is going to get on the y-axis is at -2. So we would just say y is just going to be less than or equal to -2. Let me fix that, -2. And this would be also a function. It would pass the vertical line test. So if I drew a vertical line, it's only going to intersect at one time. A horizontal line, the domain, it extends indefinitely in both directions, so the domain from left to right would still be all real numbers. The range, if you notice on the y-axis, it's only going to be hitting at one value on the y-axis, and that would be at -3. So the range on this one would just be y equals -3. So there's going to be no other output values other than -3 on this line. And this would be a function. Why did I write no? Yes, this is a function. Yes, it does pass the vertical line test. Number 10, the domain on the far left is at -2, and then on the range, it would go to +5. Now notice there's 2 values at 5, but one of them has an open circle, one of them has a closed circle, so it can be equal to 5. So both of these are going to be less than or equal to sign. So it's less than or equal to 5 and greater than or equal to -2. The range is going to go from -6 all the way up to +6. But notice on the -6, it's an open circle, so it's not going to equal -6. It's just going to be greater than -6. And then it's closed on the +6, So it can be equal to that. So it's less than or equal to 6 and greater than negative 6. And this is a no, it would not be a function because it does not pass the vertical line test. Okay, number 11, it says Drew believes the domain of the function graphed below is negative 6 to positive 6, or x is greater than or equal to negative 6 and less than or equal to 6. While Jasmine believes it is all real numbers. Who do you agree with? Well, I'm going to agree with Jasmine. And that is because the function will continue to the left and right indefinitely because of the arrows at the end. So if you notice again, it has arrows at the end. So we know that it's going to continue. The function continues to the left and to the right indefinitely. To the left and right. And I'm just going to say forever. So the domain would be all real numbers. And number 12, I want you to try to sketch a function that meets the following criteria. Domain is all real numbers and the range is y is greater than or equal to negative 2. So I'll sketch one and then you can sketch one too and see if, so I'm going to just put a point on negative 2. So that the function's not going to go below negative 2 on the y-axis. So it's going to be greater than that. And if the domain's all real numbers, I'm going to just have 2 arrows coming out in both directions. So it could be curved if you want it to be curved. There's another example of what it could look like. Okay, so you have an assignment, and tomorrow, or it's Friday, so I will see y'all Monday, and we will continue talking about domain and range. Thanks.